Dear chess friends, welcome to Jozarov chess channel and welcome to one of the best chess games that I've seen in my life. Here you witness such a beautiful, amazing, sharp tactical battle between Stockfish 15 against another top engine Black Marlin. And the cool part about this game is actually that in one particular moment of the game it seems so that Black Marlin is defending the position in a good way. It seems even so that Black is maybe even winning the game, but then Stockfish pulls off such an immortal, such a beautiful tactical sequence, which creates really some madness all over the board. So be prepared. This is again sick, brutal chess. This is simply chess from another dimension. Be prepared. As I said, really one of the best games that I've seen in my life. So Stockfish opens with the move d4. Black Marlin's response was knight to f6, c4, g6, and after move g3, we have now the Fianchetto variation. Here we have c6 by Black Marlin, preparing to keep the position in the center compact with the move d5. Bishop to g2, and after move d5 we have now the move queen to a4. This move is of course already a tension between the queen and the king, because now after c takes d5 that we could play, then of course you have to take out with the knight instead of c takes d5, because white is then using the pin on his diagonal. So you could try maybe some ideas of bishop to d7, but actually here we can play normal development, and maybe you could try b5. Okay, we can play c takes b5, c takes b5, but I don't like this line for black, because after queen to b3 or queen to c2 we can use now this method, maybe knight to d2, knight to b3, knight to c5. There is always a weakness on c5, but also a huge weak square on e5. So in my opinion, okay, you have your fun with some activities, and but you can also leave some spaces behind. And there is even a game in the database in which Donchenko destroyed Nodibek Abdul Satorov in this particular line with the white pieces. So in my opinion, as I said, the c5 is something that bothers me in this particular line. So after move queen to a4, bishop to g7 was played by Black Marlin. Stockfish takes out now the pawn on d5, releases the pressure in the center of the board. You have to now take out with the pawn, and actually e4 here would be very tempting, but actually it would be a huge mistake, because if you play e4, then of course the d4 is a long-term weakness. So that's why Stockfish plays first normal development, kingside castling, and also now the move bishop to g4, which is now a huge threat also for white, because then after bishop takes f3 again, the d4 could be a long-term weakness. So Stockfish continues with rook to d1, protects now the pawn. We have knight to d7. This is a normal development. It's threatening of course also knight to b6, but this move also takes some squares for the bishop. Now the bishop doesn't have a good escape route, so that's why Stockfish uses now this moment, plays h3. And now, as I said, if you play bishop to f5, you could get some trouble with some knight to d2 moves and then e4, or if you play bishop to e6, then also knight to g5 is a huge threat. So the bishop does have good squares, so that's why Stockfish got challenged with this move, bishop to f3, and after bishop takes f3, okay, we can say white has the bishop pair. It's of course an advantage. It's an open game, so the bishops love this kind of a position. But actually black is doing fine here, because black has also some chances, especially because of the fact that e5 is coming soon. And also what we have to notice, the g3 h3 pawn structure in front of the king is not so healthy. It's already a weakened pawn structure in front of white's king, so I think black has also some chances in the game. So that's why Black Marlin breaks the position immediately with the move e5, which is a good choice. And actually this is an equal game for both sides. Also the top engine Stockfish 15 gives here equal chances also for black. So in the continuation we have now d takes e5, knight to e5. The move e4 is not working immediate, because of course knight takes f3 is going to happen first. So that's why bishop to g2 played by Stockfish 15, and now a5 here, also threatening the move b5. So in the continuation, knight to c3, using the spin on the d file, and now Stockfish got challenged again with this move, knight takes c3, and after b takes c3, let's stop and now invalidate the position a little bit now for both sides. So okay, Stockfish has a huge weakness, which is of course the c3 pawn. Also, what is a weakness, I think, is the c4 square, because in the near future b5 is going to happen, and maybe black can have a solid structure by cementing the knight on c4. What I don't like in black's position is, of course, that you don't have anymore the bishop pair. This is an open battle. This is a really wild open game, so that's why the bishops should be better in this types of position. And also, from white's perspective, we can use the b file, especially the b7 pawn is now a huge problem in the continuation of the game. So as I said, both sides have, I think, great attacking chances, so it becomes now really a beautiful tactical battle. So in the continuation, queen to b6, we have bishop to f4, queen to a6, attacking the pawn on e2. So far, this pawn on e2 is not so important because Stockfish continues with the normal plan, attacks now the pawn on b7. If you, for instance, take out now the pawn on e2, then you get bishop to f1, you have to step back, we pick up the pawn on b7, and okay, you could have your fun by playing knight to f3, but with king to g2, this bishop is coming into the game, c6 is weak, a5 is weak, so again, as I said, a perfect position for the bishop pair. So in the continuation, after rook from a to b1, we have rook to c8, e3, finally improving the position of the pawn on e2. We have now the move b5, and you see now the Black Marlin engine is now using this 3 versus 2 pawn majority. So the main goal is to reach the endgame stage, maybe simplify the game, trading off more pieces, trading off rooks, and maybe go into an endgame, maybe queen versus queen, and maybe with an extra pawn on the queen side, although of course white has a pawn majority on the king side, 4 versus 3, but how is white going to make progress? No, I'm not sure if white wants to create a passer on the king side in order to make some kind of progress. So as I said, here the 3 versus 2 pawn majority is actually much more dangerous. But Stockfish realized its chances with this method after move queen to e4, again retreating with the queen. Of course, we have now knight to c4. Stockfish uses now immediately the pawn majority, now plays now the move h4. It's trying now to get the move h5, and this is really brilliant because this is the way to go when you are playing with the bishop here. You don't count so many pawns, you are trying to let this position explode. And here with the move h4, Stockfish is also leaving now the pawn on c3 unprotected, which is really well. Many of us, I think, would first try to defend the position, maybe try to regroup, try to maybe play sort of a blockade on the queen side. But now with the move h4, Stockfish is noticing that actually Black has here lack of defenders in front of the king. Okay, there are 3 pawns, there is also the bishop, but now maybe when we can use more attacking pieces in our game, maybe then the position could be endangered in front of Black's king. So h4 is now a really brilliant move by Stockfish. So here Black Marlin accepts the challenge, takes out now the pawn on c3, saying, show me what you got, show me what's your actual plan here. So in the continuation, Stockfish now plays a4, beautiful move that stops a little bit of progress on the queen side because the queen is a little bit overloaded here to the defense of the knight. After b takes a4, of course, bishop to f1 is going to happen, and the knight could be further endangered. For instance, knight to d2, after move a4 is also not working. There is a huge threat also in this particular position for Black. For instance, we play rook takes d2, we can even sacrifice the rook for the exchange. After bishop to d2, we play now queen to d4, hitting now the bishop on d2, and now if you step back to b4, look at this, bishop to h6 is going to happen. So there's not a good way anymore to defend this position. You could try f6, but look at this, a takes b5 is going to happen after something like c takes b5, queen to d7. There's simply no good way to defend anymore the 7th rank. Rook to f7, bishop to d5, for instance, is winning the game on spot here for white. So this maneuver with the move here, bishop to h6, and creating some madness on dark squares is also something that bothers Black in the continuation of the game. So as I said in the beginning of this tactical sequence, Black is lacking in defenders in front of the king. So this we should not forget in the continuation of the game, because this kind of an idea will happen now many times. So after move a4, you see knight to d2 is so far not working here for Black. This has to be discussed, of course. So rook to e8 here played by Black Marlin, attacking now the queen on e4. The queen steps back, and you see now the bishop is hanging, the knight is also a little bit loose here, and here with the move bishop to e5, Black Marlin, in my opinion, when I saw the game for the first time, in my opinion, I thought, okay, what's going on? Black is defending this position for sure. Let's even flip the board. I think many of us would feel perfectly fine in this particular position, because what we can notice, the huge threat is, of course, knight to a3, creating a fork against the rook on b1 and also against the queen on c2. And with the move bishop to e5, black at least manages to grab one of these bishops. So the main strength of white was, of course, the beautiful bishop pair. Now with the move bishop to e5, at least we're trading one of these beasts off, and then at least we have a simplified game, and we have to say a 3 versus 1 pawn majority on the queen side. So it seems so, as I said, that Black Marlin is defending the position for sure. But actually, this tactical ideas, this simplification ideas of black are just delusional. It's not working. Any of this move is not working. Knight to a3 is not even a threat. You see now why. For instance, Stockfish continues with this plan with the move h5. Tries now to undermine really the pawn chain in front of black's king. And notice, actually, the main strength of white is actually the d-file attack. Black lost in the beginning a little bit the battle on the d-file. Now there is also a problem around the square f7. Let's see now possible continuations. For instance, if you play bishop to f4. This move has to be discussed, of course, further, because many of us, I think from black's perspective, would play this move, releasing the pressure, as I said in the beginning, also trading off more pieces, trading off this powerful bishop pair. Now there is no bishop pair anymore. So from bishop to f4, e takes f4, and look at this. You could maybe try knight to a3, but now the problem is after queen to b2, for instance, you pick up now the rook on b1, and now we continue with h6 again. That's now the main issue. You have to play now f6, queen to f6, and maybe you can try now to include the queen into the game. But now after rook to b1, no, there's simply too much pressure on the b file, on this diagonal. So when we play now a takes b5, c takes b5, it's not possible. After queen to b5 also it's not possible. So many dirty ideas here. You could try maybe here queen to f7, simplify the game, but now we just stay on this diagonal, and there's, I think, simply no good defense. b4 could be met with bishop to f1. Look at this bishop is coming into the game, so really already messed up position. Bishop to c4 deflects the queen from the square g7, so really a monstrous attack here by Stockfish 15. So as I said, after move h5 that Stockfish played, you see bishop to f4 is simply too slow, and you have to keep your bishop on the board in order to protect your dark square problems in the continuation of the game. So this bishop to f4 method is not working. So that's why the Black Marlin engine played the other solution, knight to a3. But this again is not working because Stockfish plays now queen to b3, again with the same idea. As I said, the d file attack is now something that bothers black in the continuation of the game. And here the Black Marlin engine played now knight takes b1. Even if you after move knight to a3, as we said, queen to b3, knight takes b1 played by Black Marlin, and now we have this idea, rook to d7. We don't want to pick up the knight immediately. It doesn't matter. We don't need our rook now in the continuation of the game. The main issue is now the square f7 that has to be attacked further. So that's why here the Black Marlin engine played rook to e6, created this defensive idea, covered this long diagonal against this pawn on f7. In the continuation, Stockfish continues now with the plan, bishop to h3, continues with the further pressure around the square e6, and now Black Marlin has again two choices. In the continuation, black tried knight to d2, but let's see also this idea, bishop to b takes a4, if you're trying maybe to deflect the queen again from the attack. Actually, queen takes b1 would be a huge mistake here for white. This is not working because c5 is creating good defensive chances for black. After bishop to e6, the queen is coming into the game. But actually, again, after b takes a4, even you don't want to pick up the knight. You want to play queen to d1. Getting an attack on the d-file. So as I said, the d-file attack was always something that bothered black in the continuation of the game. Let's see now possible continuations. You're trying maybe rook to e8, protecting your back rank, but now with bishop to e5, there are again several problems here on dark squares. You lose the bishop, so after rook to e5, now we play rook to d8, and look at this, after king to g7, we pick up now here the rook on c8. The bishop is connected to the rook, you cannot take out the rook, and now the knight is hanging. You have again dark square problems, so this idea is not working. So after move queen to d1 here that white would have played, there are maybe different ideas how you can protect the position. You can play maybe knight to c3, attacking the queen, but look at this, this is again not working. Rook to d8, after king to g7, h6 is going to happen again. Really wild stuff. You play king to f6, we play bishop to e5, and after king to e5, queen to d4 is a beautiful checkmate. Really stunning moves. Even if you pick up now the rook here with the move rook takes e5, now queen to d6 is winning the game. You have to now put your rook into the defense. So again, this is game over. So really cool tactical ideas. You see, after bishop to h3, there's not so much that can be done. You cannot ignore this threat. You cannot simplify the game again. In the game, knight to d2 was played by the Black Marlin engine, tried to deflect the rook from the from this attack, especially the f7, as we said, is a huge problem. In the continuation, Stockfish grabs now the knight on d2. Still the rook is hanging. Also the rook on c8 is hanging. In the continuation, we have rook to e7, and again, Stockfish is not greedy. Stockfish doesn't want to trade off the rook. Stockfish is getting rid of the key defender of dark squares. That's now the main aggressive method of white. We don't care about material here. We are caring here about the dark square weaknesses. So that's why Stockfish plays now first bishop to e5. After rook to e5 again. We don't want to take out the rook. This rook doesn't matter. h6, brilliant move here again, played by Stockfish. We have here rook to e8 played by Black Marlin, which is very important to play. For instance, if you play here rook to e8, then we play queen to c3, and there's nothing that can be done. And even if you play rook to b8, if you try to step back here from the defense, from the attack of the bishop, then again this idea is working. Rook to d7, there's nothing that can be done to defend this position. You could try maybe rook to f8, but now with queen to b2, again there's simply too much pressure. f6 is going to weaken your light square problems, weaken the light squares in front of the king. So really devastating here attack by Stockfish 15. So after move h6, you see you have to do something. In the game, Black Marlin tried this move, rook to e8, because as we said, when the rook is coming on d7, at least you can protect your 7th rank by playing the move rook to e7. That's now the main issue. But now Stockfish first plays bishop to d7, attacking the rook. The rook has to step back, and now again this idea, queen to c3, trying to deliver checkmate on g7. Really wild stuff. f6 is must move here for black. In the continuation, bishop to c6, we have now b takes a4. Even if you try maybe queen to a7, covering the 7th rank, this is not working. We'll simply play a takes b5. You can maybe step back from this attacks on the light square, but now again we play rook to a2 is, I think, pretty solid here. We'll pick up this pawn. We maybe afterwards also push this passer here on the b file. The king is in danger, so in my opinion, really bad game here for black. So in the continuation, bishop to c6 was played. As we said, we have b takes a4 here, played by the Black Marlin engine, but now rook to d6, getting some huge attacking ideas around the square. f6. In the continuation, queen to a7, we have bishop to d5. For instance, if you step back here with your king to h8, there is now this stunning move, rook to f6. Look at this, how beautiful this attack by Stockfish is. For instance, rook to f6 leads into this line, queen to c8, this beautiful checkmate. You can just bring some rooks in between, but you don't solve your problems, of course. So that's why after move bishop to d5, you cannot step back. That's now the main issue. You have to give up now back material with rook takes d5, rook takes d5, queen to e7, getting the queen into the defense. But now look at this. This is such a brutal attack by Stockfish, especially again the same motif is working. Rook to d7, occupying the 7th rank. In the continuation, rook to e8, rook to d7, queen to f8, and now after queen to g7, king to h8, and now queen to d7. Really stunning here tactics by Stockfish 15. Rook to h7 is also now a huge threat. In the continuation, we have now rook to b8, and now after queen to e6, actually this game is over, because after queen to g7 that you have to play, it seems. So maybe you can try some ideas. I don't know. Rook to b1, we play king to g2. Now we play a3, but the huge tactical threat is actually this one, rook to g8. For instance, that's now the main checkmate pattern here. You have to play queen to g8, and now after queen to f6, you can cover with the queen on g7. But after queen takes g7, the game is over. So you see, after move queen to e6, you have to now sacrifice the queen for the rook. After h takes g7, king to g7, we have queen to e7, king to g8, and in this position, the Black Marlin engine resigns. So there's simply too much pressure. We'll pick up every of this pawn. This is a weak pawn. The king is always in danger. The rook is loose on the board, so the rook has to be always used as defensive piece in front of the king. So in this particular position, as I said, the Black Marlin engine resigned. So pooh, incredible game here by Stockfish 15. Incredible attack, using all of this 5 diagonals, using the bishop pair in sort of an alpha zero way. If you remember the beautiful match between Alpha Zero and Stockfish, the early version, then Alpha Zero used many times the bishop pair like this, created really some tactical damage with beautiful bishop pair. So in my opinion, really stunning, beautiful game. In my opinion, really one of the best games that I've seen in my life. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed the game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting ideas for sure here. If you want to see more brutal attacks like this, check out my Common Chess Games Played by Computers. Here's the link of our playlist. We have more than 400 games in this sharp tactical battles. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what to say, chess is the best, of course.